Hi everyone, this is Kathy. I'm back with another video, and this time it's going to be on Ashton Kutcher. Before I get started, I just want to say that everything that I say in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. This is only my personal opinions based on what I get from my angels and my guides, and that's it. Please go do your own research and form your own opinions. Also, please don't show hate to anyone anywhere, especially in the comments section. Please only show love. And with that, let's get started. I did a live stream 2 days ago on Friday, and so you might want to go back and look at that. I asked the whole live stream ended up being on just basically Ashton Kutcher and some of Danny Masterson, but it was basically on Ashton Kutcher. So please go and watch that if you haven't watched it. But there's some follow-up questions that I wanted to ask about Ashton too, and this has been such a huge story. And I have always felt I really liked Ashton Kutcher. I really thought of him as a good actor. I liked the stuff he did. I thought he was a good person. But the more now I'm learning about him, I'm not so sure that he's this great person that I thought that he was. And I know that everyone makes mistakes, but I'm just learning. My eyes are opening up to a lot of the things that have happened in the past regarding Ashton Kutcher. So what I wanted to do is just ask some follow-up questions that I didn't ask on my live stream 2 days ago. So again, if you go back and watch that, and I have a lot of stuff in there. But one of the things that I wanted to ask today is, it's also come out that now Ashton Kutcher has, he was on the board of directors for this organization called Thorn. And I believe Thorn is an organization that's helped to advocate or protect or rehabilitate or something, trafficking victims. So the concept is really great. I think, that's definitely a worthy cause. I would absolutely support anything like that. However, because of all of this stuff, Ashton Kutcher obviously sent out a letter to the judge in support of Danny Masterson's for his sentencing to see if he can get his sentencing reduced. And so now there's all this backlash on Ashton Kutcher. So that's about as much of the details as I'm going to talk about the backstory. But Ashton Kutcher now has resigned from Thorn pretty much right away. So I wanted to ask in today's video, and if you see me looking over there, it's because I'm looking at my list. I've got questions. You guys who know me and who join my live streams every week, I do a weekly live stream on Friday evening. And I've been doing it for several months now. And so I always have my list. And my list is right there. So that's why I'm always looking there. Because I want to look to see what the questions are. Because I have to write them down or I'm not going to remember them all. But anyway, one of the things I want to ask is if Ashton Kutcher resigned on his own from Thorn, or did Thorn kind of, force him or ask him to resign because of all the scandal and stuff that's been going on. So let's ask that. Was it did he resign on his own volition or, himself? Did he do that himself? So I do think that Ashton, okay, here's what I'm getting in the cards and also what I'm picking up, as a psychic medium when I'm focusing on the energy of the situation. What I'm getting is that I think it was a combination of both. I think Ashton was already thinking, gosh, it might be a good idea for me to resign because none of this looks good. And then I think he had a conversation with some of the other board members of Thorn, and it was like a mutual decision. It's like a mutual agreement decision. So it wasn't just one or the other. But I do think that it may have been Ashton's initial idea, and then he initially reached out to some other board members to have a discussion. So I know he mentioned in his letter to the board of Thorn that, after conversations with his wife, which I do think obviously he did talk to his wife, I think is Mila Kunis. So I do think he obviously talked to her about this, but I also think he had conversations with the board. And I think it was a mutual decision. I touched on some things about the organization Thorn itself on my live stream 2 days ago. So very interesting. So you may want to go back and watch that video too. If I remember, I'll try to put a link to that specific video in my description of the video. But if I don't do that, then go back and just look on my live tab. You know how there's a video tab and a live tab. Just look on the live and you'll see it in there. But yeah, I think it was a mutual decision. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to ask about Ashton. Does Ashton believe? Does he feel and believe, allegedly, does he feel and believe that Danny Masterson did actually do the things that he was convicted of? SA. So that's a great question because, I think everyone knows that Ashton has been very, very tight with Danny Masterson for decades, and almost like a brother, I feel. And when I focus on that energy, I think they used to feel like brothers. So I want to know if he really believes that Danny did these things he was convicted of. I'm getting a yes. So Ashton and Mila both feel that Danny did do the things that he was convicted of. They do believe it. They know it. Allegedly, they do know it. And yes, they do believe it. They know. They know that this actually happened. Yes, they do. Which, how you can be friends. Oh God, see, this is such a touchy subject. When you're friends with someone or you're really close with someone, I get that it can put you in a difficult position because you're struggling with the love you feel for someone and that you've had in your life, maybe looked as like a family member. Or maybe it is a family member and you have this love for this person and they've been in your life all these years and you can't just shut that off. But at the same time, how do you navigate feeling that love and support for this person who is like family with something that this person did that was horrifically wrong and illegal? How do you navigate that? I get that. It's a conundrum. That's not something, God, I would not wish anyone to be in that position. But at the end of the day, I feel, now who knows how I would react. I don't think any of us know how we would react in that kind of situation until, God forbid, it happens. So I would like to think that I could still love a person, but understand that they did something very wrong and have sympathy for the victims as well, and try to do the right thing. That's what I feel that I would do. You know, again, I don't think anybody really knows how they would react unless they're in that situation. But you know, it's just really a shame. So now I want to ask about, I'm going to get off my soapbox. So now I want to ask if Ashton actually feels sympathy, compassion, empathy, any of that for any of the victims, whether they're victims that have already come forward, if they are yet to be known about, victims, you know, that haven't come forward, whatever. I want to know if Ashton feels any sympathy, compassion, empathy, anything like that for any victims of Danny Masterson. This is a tough one. I'm going to say, does he feel empathy, compassion? Sort of. And I'm really not happy to see this as an answer. I'm going to say sort of. But he struggles with he's struggling with a couple of things. One, I do think that he is waking up to see who the real person of Danny is. And I don't think it has anything. That's the interesting thing. And you can get more of this information on my live stream from 2 days ago. But I don't feel that I feel Ashton and Danny, there's a crack in their friendship, their relationship. There's some crack. I feel the crack, though, has nothing to do whatsoever with what Danny has done, allegedly done, or been convicted of doing. It has nothing to do with that. Ashton and Danny had a crack or something that's starting to break down their relationship, and especially coming from Ashton's side. So, you know, I hate to say this, but I don't think, and I don't feel psychically and intuitively that Ashton feels the remorse, or not remorse, but compassion or sympathy or really anything for these victims. I mean, this doesn't make me happy to see this. And of course, this is alleged, but I don't see him feeling sad, sorry, compassion, remorse, empathy, nothing for these victims of Danny Masterson. I don't see it. That really bums me out. And I don't feel it. I'm not picking it up psychically either when I'm focusing on the energy. So here's another question. And I can't remember if I asked this on my live stream or not, but I am going to ask it here. If Ashton's career is over now because of all this, and don't forget that there's all of this stuff, but then if you guys remember from a couple years ago, Ashton had a girlfriend at the time. He was dating or something. He went over to her house to pick her up to take her to an event, and went in her house, and she was unalived on the floor. He panicked, allegedly left, and called not the authorities. No, no, no. Who he called was Danny Masterson and some other, I think his own PR team, whatever, and his agent, handler, whatever. And there's speculation that he may have also called the producer or something, someone connected to That 70s Show. So anyway, people had forgotten about that. But that's all being brought back up again now with this whole Danny Masterson thing coming out and the letter to the judge and all of that. So it's like it's reignited again. So I want to ask if Ashton's career is over. I can't remember if I asked it on the last live stream, so I'm going to ask it. No, his career is not over. I think he's going to take a hit for a certain period of time, but it's going to start, as things always do. They're going to, time, makes people forget about some stuff that's happened. And I'm hearing about 5 years. So it'll take a little bit. But I am getting that eventually Ashton, I think, will be right back in show business, whatever, doing a series, a movie, whatever, podcast. I don't know what it'll be. But I see him still doing stuff. So no, his career is not over at all. It's just on pause. It's on pause until the dust settles from all of this. And I do think that there's other things, drama, controversy, however you want to, scandal, whatever you want to call. I do think there's more coming for Ashton. It may be sort of involving this Danny Masterson situation. It could be involving the girlfriend that he found unalived in her house and pretended he wasn't there, but he really was. I do think there's more coming out. So he's not done with the drama right now by any means. There is still a lot more coming. But to answer the question, no, I think his career is going to be eventually fine. It's on pause right now. It's just on a pause, maybe about 5 years. And then I think he's going to be right back in the saddle again. So the last question I wanted to ask about Ashton, and boy, this is a rough one. A lot of people have always wondered and asked, especially back a few years ago when this happened, again, talking about the girlfriend that he went to pick up, went in her house, found her unalived on the floor. So people have speculated, asking, was she still alive at the time he was there, when he went inside? And by him leaving and not calling the authorities, then obviously, did she pass away because he didn't call for help? So this is a rough question, but I'm going to ask because I know I kind of want to know too. I already know what I pick up intuitively and psychically, but I want to see if the cards match. Yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling. I don't feel that she, unfortunately, was still alive when he was there and went into her house. I think she was already gone. So that's another tragic thing that happened. So yeah, I don't think, I think she was already gone. It's very sad. So that was my quick little video on some follow-up questions that I wanted to ask about Ashton Kutcher. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole drama scandal, that's going on right now with him sending the letter to the judge in support of Danny. You can bring up about the girlfriend that he found unalived. I mean, what do you think about this whole thing about Ashton? Do you think his career will survive? Do you think he'll be back in the saddle again? Do you think he had anything to do with the girlfriend's unaliving? Do you think, how do you feel about why he really did send this letter to the judge about Danny? Let me know all your thoughts, because this is a fascinating case for me right now. And well, it's not a case, but I mean, it's just this whole, everything that's going on with this whole thing around Ashton Kutcher right now. It's just crazy. So let me know in the comments what you think. Remember, comments are for love, so please only show love. And other than that, I will see you all on, I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you all on the next video.